Hello, friends. It's Chapo.
Durable group of people in these states, knocking on doors and stuff. Certainly compared to Bernie.
For my money, I think Bernie comes out of Iowa with something on the scale of 32-34%.
Yes, I think that's true. And the thing
it's
is
a question of whether anyone else reaches that level, or the anti-Bernie field is so fractured.
The thing is, like, the parallels to 2016 are so just uncanny. I just feel like it's going to be a very similar situation. I know Ted Cruz won in Iowa in 2016, but it was a close race.
And that's not a caucus, by the way.
And also astounding because, yeah, Trump finished a close second in Iowa, but this is supposed to be the state where infrastructure is supposed to matter. He spent no money and had no fucking system or program or people on the ground in Iowa at all. And he still finished in a strong second place, which led him then to, of course, like, dominate New Hampshire and South Carolina.
What I think is the interesting parallel is Bernie was getting wiped by Hillary up until the last few weeks.
Yep.
When he surged, and that's where he essentially tied Hillary. He got edged out there, and as well, they did not release the actual vote totals from the caucuses, so he might have actually gotten more votes.
There's a lot of people in Iowa who will swear on a stack of Bibles that Bernie won and that they took it from him there, and I mean, why wouldn't they? Bernie, if he wins Iowa...
Bernie, as well, in 2016, people forget this, but Bernie was not planning to speak in Iowa because he himself thought he would lose Iowa.
Yeah.
But then he spoke at the very last minute.
I remember that, yeah.
He canceled his flight.
Yeah.
He made sure that he called them on the phone, and he made sure he got a refund for that.
He told them that a relative had died and that he was a 9/11 first responder.
Nobody's going to get that reference, Matt.
It's still funny. Yeah. Iowa, he's going to win Iowa. And if he wins Iowa, he will win New Hampshire. I mean, he's already...
New Hampshire, where he won by a landslide last time.
So he will, if he wins Iowa, it will give everyone who is on the fence permission to vote for him in New Hampshire. He will win New Hampshire. Outside chance he wins South Carolina, but even if he doesn't win South Carolina...
They move on to Nevada after that.
We're talking Nevada's third.
Yes,
before
Nevada,
South Carolina.
Yes, correct. Nevada's
Shit.
third.
Well, he's definitely going to win Nevada. He might win South Carolina.
He is positioned to win the first three primary states, which, if you follow the media coverage of most of the people who write the fucking awful, shitty news articles that we all hate and make fun of, they have not internalized the idea that Bernie might win the first three states.
They're going to lose their shit.
And as well, I think they have convinced themselves of their own lie. And as well, they've convinced all of the various stakeholders within the Democratic establishment that, nothing to worry about. Actually, Warren's the real insurgent here. She's the dangerous one.
That's
and so they are consciously ignoring Bernie, and that is the strategy this time around. Okay, there's so many candidates that Bernie. Those are those weird lower class weirdos. That's not. I go to dinner parties and like Joan Didion. I don't know a single person who supports Bernie.
And also, the people who support Bernie, they don't vote.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens if they do, motherfucker. Then you're fucked.
That kind
then
of
you're
stuff.
completely
but
fucked.
They have built up the psychological barrier in their mind where the mere concept of Bernie winning any early state is totally impossible to them because, as we said during our discussion on Bloomberg, you don't know anything. You're fucking idiots. You're just highly paid idiots, and your fucking job relies on you not knowing anything.
And the highly paid idiot in chief is Barack Obama because, as that Politico article points out, he clearly does not want Bernie to get the nomination, terrified of the concept. But thank God he underestimates Bernie. If he understood the threat Bernie poses to the Democratic Party, he would have, like we said earlier, have picked a horse early, gotten behind him, and used him to clear the field.
But here's what's
instead he's like, it'll take care of itself.
But here's what's interesting.
And now it's going to be like I guarantee you, if he wins those first three primaries, Obama's going to be like, I need to get in here, and it's going to be too late.
Last time around, they had the Bernie bro smear or whatever to make it unacceptable in polite society to vote for Bernie Sanders. Yep. And this time around, of course, the strategy is we're just going to downplay him. We're just going to ignore him, which to me says, okay, so then you're not ready for the first month of voting and Bernie winning 3
Not at all.
primaries.
Not at all.
You're not at all ready, which means your smears will not have been sharpened by then. And you also wasted a lot of your energy going after Elizabeth Warren, which, thanks, Liz. If you're just a stalking horse for Bernie, that's great. Like you were the meat shield for Bernie.
She was. I mean, I don't think she
Because
intended
at this
that, but
point
that's what
around,
happened.
the momentum would be so strong, and Bernie obviously has the best. He has the best political machine working in California right now, which is the biggest primary of the entire season, where he is vastly outpolling everyone else, and he's vastly outpolling Kamala Harris.
And imagine how he's going to be polling when he's won when he has won New Hampshire, Iowa, and Nevada, and probably maybe a second place in South Carolina. Imagine what he's going to do in California. So he's going to have won California right before Super Tuesday.
So that also, I mean, that ultimately just says to me, oh, okay, I know all of you guys, this entire structure, you all fucking hate Bernie Sanders and you want to kneecap him, you want to destroy him, but you're out of shape. You have not been practicing on your fucking awful baseless smears against Bernie Sanders. You're probably gonna drag out of the fucking cellar that dusty old fucking Bernie bro shit from 2016, and it's gonna be too little, too late. When you could have spent the past few months actively attacking him.
My desire for a news cycle in which we have to argue about whether Bernie Sanders might not come to pass.
That's what's so terrifying to them.
Let's bring this one in for a landing. Let me give you the quote from the Politico article. When it comes to Sanders, I asked one close advisor whether Obama would really lay himself on the line to prevent a Sanders nomination. Quote, I can't really confirm that, the advisor said. He hasn't said that directly to me. The only reason I'm hesitating at all is because, if Bernie were running away with it, I think maybe we would all have to say something. But I don't think that's likely. It's not happening. Another close Obama friend said, Bernie's not a Democrat.
Oh, shit. These
nice friends, Obama.
He is so blessed by his enemies. Just a bunch of blinkered, woolly-headed dipshits, totally cut off from any reality, just living in a Beltway conventional wisdom from 20 fucking years ago. And that means that when they get smacked in the face, it's going to be too late for them to fucking mobilize. And the real secret weapon for Bernie is his support among Latinos. He is the number one candidate of Hispanics. And when he wins California with a majority of the Latino vote, good luck trying to in the last minute turn it into Bernie bro white boy bullshit.
Virgil, I don't know if you had something specific prepared for the ending, and we are going a little long.
We're about to end, yeah.
But because of our upcoming trip, I was wondering if you guys might want to spend even 5 minutes baselessly opining about the UK election polls.
Okay. We'll do just a very brief thing. Because the last few batch of polls have shown Jez, the absolute boy, coming up in the polls. And the thing is about the UK Conservatives...
Coming up like a good batch of Molly.
They are... the UK Conservatives, they get the same amount of the vote every single election. They're within a very narrow band themselves. They have the lowest ceiling of 42% of the vote, which, if I recall correctly, is what Theresa May got last time around. And what the UK political class doesn't really acknowledge is the idea that there might be a groundswell of support for the Labour Party. Registrations just closed in the UK, and something on the level of 4 million voters applied to join the voter roll.
And most of them, a majority, are under 35, a age cohort that is overwhelmingly pro-Labor.
And there was a late breaking story, which I think Matt, you can possibly talk about more. So one of the Labor's campaign arguments right now is Boris Johnson, from his Brexit, he is going to open negotiations with USA healthcare companies and make a trade deal with the United States and privatize the NHS. Essentially. And Boris swears up and down, no, there's no bloody deal, Jez. But Jez, he got the documents.
He got the documents. Folks, I've seen the documents, folks, and they're going to do it. And that thing is wait,
tell people the story.
All right, so Jez has been saying for a while, and this is a fact, is that Boris, the Conservative MP, he is a Brexiteer. He was one of the guys who engineered the Brexit vote. And a Brexit will require some sort of free trade deal with the United States. Trump has said up and down, because he's Mr. Brexit, remember, that he would be in favor of a trade deal with the UK. And of course, people have pointed out, well, shit, what would that mean for the NHS, for their gloriously socialized medical system? and that even though people get annoyed with it because it's underfunded, they still vastly prefer any sane human would to our garbage, dipshit, awful, soul-destroying private healthcare system. And the conservative response has been, NHS is not on the table. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Even though we'll have to make a deal with the U.S., it will not involve the NHS. Well, Corbyn today released a bunch of fucking leaked documents saying that the conservative government has absolutely been in contact with the United States in regards to a trade deal after Brexit, and that the United States is insisting that the NHS be on the table, that prescription drugs be on the table for privatization. And this is the thing that the conservatives have been swearing up and down since the Brexit vote wouldn't happen. And now we know in black and white, it absolutely 100% will. And of course, Jez had a fucking press conference where he revealed the documents, and the first 4 questions from the press were about him not apologizing for being an anti-Semite. And I'm sorry that if we live in a world where you don't see that, you don't see a guy saying, this government is planning to sell your goddamn healthcare down the river to some American private equity jackals so that your fucking grandmother can have to fucking pawn her jewels to get dialysis, and say, yes, maybe. Not see the absolute fucking cynical ruse behind that, then there's no hope in electoral politics at all. And so, as Virgil was saying, even before this, the last few polls have been showing Jez slowly crawling up to within striking distance. A poll today came out. One of the most accurate pollsters from the last 2017 general. Labor within 6 points. That was before the fucking revealing of these fucking documents. We're being to be in the UK, and I was expecting to be there and spend election night destroying my brain out of nihilistic hopelessness and waking up the next day, if at all, a poisoned wreck. I expect that one way or the other, I will wake up the next morning a poisoned wreck. But more and more, I'm thinking I might be waking up a poisoned wreck out of revel and excitement and pleasure. We'll see.
On that note, I want to thank everyone who came out in New York City for the Labor International Phone Bank. I believe they will be doing another one this Sunday, December 1st. But I don't know if that's the case, and Chris will cut this if that is not the case. But if it is the case, we will put the link in that information in the description of this episode. And this is also a good point to note that, yes, we are coming to the United Kingdom in order to report in an unbiased fashion about the smears about labor that are utter fucking lies. And we will be doing 2 shows, one in London. Tickets are going very quickly for that. And one in Liverpool. Link in the
Ferry
bio.
Cross the Mersey.
For those 2 shows. And we also would like to help participate and interfere in your election, which, interestingly, that phone bank and the fact that the New York City DSA is involved in it made the news. It made The Guardian because there is now a vast global conspiracy aimed at getting Jeremy Corbyn elected. And as some people have pointed out on Twitter, Bernie Sanders is associated, linked to Jeremy Corbyn, possible anti-Semite himself.
We might get that news cycle after all.
It actually warms my heart to see that I know people who are good German communists go to the UK and they will be canvassing in places like Wales and England and Ireland, which is, as you know, a dominion of the United Kingdom. It's one of the kingdoms, one of the 4 kingdoms, one of the 7 kingdoms.
We got to keep those anti-Deutsch out of the place, though.
Because one interesting thing is there are actually millions of UK voters, people who are eligible to vote in the UK, who are expats. So organizing in places like New York, Berlin, Paris is more important than ever. We will be there. We hope you will be there because Jez can win this fucking thing. And frankly, he should win it for all the decent people in England, which is to say everyone who has not been personally mean to us.
And everyone who has never had a column in a British daily newspaper.
Yeah, that redundant. We will be there. Get your tickets. And as well, for Bernie Sanders, as we have just indicated to you, you might be able to elect the first socialist president of the United States. You can also piss off the worst human beings in the world, because imagine the fucking freak out when Bernie Sanders wins Iowa, New Hampshire, and Nevada. And then wins California, the biggest fucking primary in Super Tuesday.
Oh, it's going to get
Can you
lit.
imagine how pissed the worst fucking human beings you can imagine will be? The people who hate you and hate your fucking guts. So that's why
They're going to
you
be screaming about him stealing cable in 1979.
That's why you need to download the Bernie app, which encourages you to put in your personal information. That sends it to Kiev or whatever, but put in your personal information, and it tells you to talk to your neighbors, which, awful, but it's necessary. Phone banking, canvassing, and donating to Bernie.